Salvation Army. No, yeah, I think this is pretty obviously an entertainment and a satire of the whole thing. It's not, I don't think, anything too mean-spirited towards it, so I'm not really too worried about that, I guess, and you know, if people can't take a joke, then they should just go join a cult.
Another question. I'm kind of curious to hear you talk. A few different people mentioned kind of the balance of the humor and the horror to the film. How do you approach that and integrating both of those elements?
I mean, I think you should ask, that's a better question almost for the actors, because my job was just to cast the movie, basically, and I picked everybody very specifically because I think they're all very, very good actors and adept at sort of negotiating between those two things. Nobody up here is like a broad, with a capital C comedy, but everybody's pretty funny, has, you know, work sort of behind them, and I was as well as dramatic work, so I knew you guys would just kind of take it on your own. Fran, do you want to?
Well, I thought it was important. We talked a lot on set that I thought it was really important to me to have a lot of room in the story and the performance in the film that for Rebirth to work. You know, for the thing to actually, you know, so at the end of the film, you don't know if you're watching a guy at gunpoint, you know, and this sort of, you know, fictitious sort of infomercial, or if this is years later and this is something that eventually sort of took hold of this guy and absolutely changed his life. And I obviously, I'm laughing probably more than anyone tonight, but it was really important to me that you have to wonder, does this thing work? You know? So some validity to the cult. Not really have to not think of it that way. So for me, I thought it was important to sort of push the satire and all that away, and because the humor I think is there, you know. But yeah.
I don't think I realized quite. I mean, I was really funny. Like I don't think I had a sense. I mean, I was laughing the entire time. But I don't think I really. I mean, I didn't approach it that way, you know. So I think that. I mean, I like to think that that's. It actually is the director's job in a sense. I mean, it's just, you know, that, you know, I felt like I was watching a thing I had absolutely nothing to do with. It's good, you know, because you don't want to control it.
I have a question actually. Was the Kool-Aid at the end, is that a reference to Jonestown? Was that drawn from that? Because
Yeah.
it gave me the EBGBs.
Yeah, I think that the idea is that we may be killing him.
Adam really fought for that moment too, by the way. That was like a really crazy long day that we shot, and we're about to get to the end. We're like, okay, how do we like block the Kool-Aid thing? And I'm like, we don't need the Kool-Aid. Let's just rap. And Adam really kind of felt like it was like he needed to do that to the character, just see what a monster Zach is.
Yeah. No, I think and I think that you have to feel that he's like that in a weird way, the last sort of straw. That shit, you know.
That was a chilling moment.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
Here's time for one more.